countries.
Against the company itself?
Yes.
Okay.
About five countries, including
Ghana.
Including Ghana. And zeroing in on the Ghana issue, if you read the approved judgment from the Crown Court in Southwark in England, the DPA, what the lawyers call the DPA, or the court calls the DPA, the deferred approved judgment, you would come to the realization that count 55, which is the statement of facts with regards to Ghana, between 2009 and 2011 thereabout, and then for 2 periods, also 2013 to 2015 thereabout, Airbus did some business with Ghana. We are told by the facts, as related to by the courts in the UK and then the courts in the US, that Airbus contacted someone called in the documents, in the UK documents, Intermediary 5, in the Department of Justice documents in the US, Consultant 4, who is directly related. In the US, it even goes out to say a brother. That's the US court documents. But the UK court says it's a relation of a highly placed elected government official, who they refer to as GO1, or government official, that he was signed on as a business partner to help them get the contracts to buy airplanes for the country's military. They are C-925 military aircrafts for the country's military, or military hardware. Now the problem is that they had to pay some monies to this business partner through the creation of another company in Spain.
Okay. Right,
just to hide it, and then also to falsify some document. They had to falsify documents because in the first instance, if you look at even their own practices per their books, they couldn't even do that. So in the first instance, no money was paid. But then there was another time that they were able to route the payments through another company to get Intermediary 5 paid. That was about which in the end, even Intermediary 5 complained that there was some 1.9 million euros that were not paid. So in effect, Airbus has to pay over 3 billion euros in fines. 3 billion euros in fines to the countries, or in terms of 3 billion euros in fines to the jurisdiction, to the jurisdiction in which they've been found culpable of all of these things. And that is because they've agreed to settle. Because if they go into prosecution and decide to challenge some of these findings and they are found guilty, they could pay up to 200 billion euros.
Okay. So let's look at it
apart from how it will even affect the stocks of the company. Let's not forget that the major competitor of Airbus is Boeing. And since the end of last year, Boeing has had its own challenges with this software. Remember the Ethiopian Airlines crash? Remember the South Lion Indonesian aircraft? They're all made by Boeing. So the controversy surrounding Boeing aircrafts in the past few years, Airbus has been the biggest beneficiary of that because it's like two competing companies. If one is going down, the other one would benefit.
But let's bring it back to Ghana. What exactly went wrong with how we engaged Airbus from the Ghanaian perspective? What did we do wrongly, whoever these code names are?
Well, I think I'm not surprised.
Okay.
See, I'm not surprised because as sad or as bad as it is, this is how business has been done by many people across successive governments.
High-level government officials?
Get a business representative, not necessarily government officials.
Okay.
But if a company wants to do business in Ghana, they find a representative in the country.
Okay.
And usually, the people who are the representatives of those businesses in the country are supposed to be people with quote connections and people who know the high and mighty in the Ghanaian society, so that they can open doors for them and get business done. So getting business partners, forming agencies, getting agency fees, it's nothing new. from the side of the, and it's something which goes on everywhere in the world.
Okay,
in terms of international
lobbyist
business,
of some sort.
International business practices everywhere. So if a company wants to do business in Ghana, they find an agent or a representative here. There's nothing wrong with that. But usually they would want to find somebody who can easily get business done. And because they know in our part of the world, business is done in certain ways. People have to go through other means to get business done. And we don't have fully formed laws, fully fledged, matured processes to get some of these things done. They want to get business done, so they will do as they have to do, which sometimes includes the payment of bribes. There are many companies where in the early 2000s, we had the Maybe and Johnson scandal. There are some Ghanaian companies who have even been banned in other jurisdictions in Africa because of how they did businesses, payment of bribes and others. So two things come to mind. First, and our parliament, I think, has to take the blame for some of these things.
How so?
Why do I say so? We have agreements approved in Parliament with sometimes without two critical documents. One, the Attorney General's opinion, which is the legal opinion of government on how the deal should be done, or the steps that actually communicates government's legal position on some of these things. That's number one. Two, what is called value for money audit. That is to have an independent body assess the contract in its entirety to find out whether it makes money sense or not, whether it gives value for how much we are paying for. In this instance, if you read the parliamentary hazards of the 25th of July, 2011, when this agreement, the loan contracted from Brazil to go and buy these C-925 military aircrafts were approved, you will find out that as at that time, the then member of parliament for New Job in South, who is now chairman of the Cocoa Board or board chairman of Cocoa Board, Hakman Owusu Agyemang, raised concerns about the fact that a value for money audit did not accompany the deal which was coming to Parliament. Again, some members of the minority then raised concerns about even doing a cursory check on Google would find out, would reveal that the deal was overpriced at least by $10 million. So,
and people just made mockery of the fact that you referenced Google.
So if there was a value for money audit on the deal, at least that would have revealed something based on which Parliament would make an informed judgment. So going forward, number one, I think that the practice, and this has happened in so many instances, because day in, day out, I report from Parliament. The instance where agreements are passed without value for money audits should be a thing of the past. That at least should be the starting point from Parliament, so that we don't get some of these things. And also shows that there are countries that do not joke with some of these things. If not for the UK and the US, we would probably never have found out about this issue.
Thank you very much, Duke. We have also been joined by Akwasi Boateng-Boamah, who's a private legal practitioner. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Happy New Year. We've not seen you here.
It's been a while.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm back. Finally, I'm back.
Can you tell us your thoughts from a legal perspective on this whole aircraft purchase allegations of bribery? Duke just mentioned that if the US and the UK investigative bodies had not found out, would Ghana have been able to even do its due diligence to see this rot?
Thank you very much, Dziffa. Good morning to your viewers. First of all, I think that if you look at our constitutions, agreements of such nature are supposed to be approved by Parliament, and that was certainly done. But as Duke said, there are so many things that have to go into place. That is the due diligence, value for money, and then the truthfulness of all the transactions, having be able to get to the right sources to be able to buy and stuff like that. So all of them legally also have some kind of deficiencies in there, because no act or Parliament or the Constitution anywhere will be stated that these things might be skipped. What equality? You can't. There's a need for you to, stick to them and then make sure that we have, value for money. So I think that the ramification of the society we have built so far is what we are seeing today.
How so?
Because you see, we live in a system whereby we have political, cronies, and believing that all the time you must be linked to somebody to be able to do business in terms of government business for that matter. And so that is what the perception that have been ongoing for a very long time is what we are seeing today.
But then in other countries, you have lobbyists who will meet government officials for the interest of a private agency, and that's perfectly fine. So what's so wrong with this one?
I agree with you. Is it lobbyists or the act of lobbying is allowed everywhere, and development is allowed. But whereby the so-called lobbyists seem to be closely associated with people in power, that is where the challenge or the difficulty emanates from. So I think that lobbying is not a bad thing, but then the kind of people who will be engaged in it, at least if you're a lobbyist, obviously you should have a track record in that particular field, whatever it is that you want to lobby. But here is the case, if you look at the CV, the credibility of most of some of them are event organizers and stuff, without any disdain to them. But that clearly should tell you that they are not really qualified
to even handle contracts of that magnitude.
Exactly. Okay. So in my opinion, I think that we have built a very, a society that have certain wrong foundations, and some of them I mentioned earlier, that so far as you have somebody a link in government, then obviously you must enjoy certain political largesse, i.e., some of these contracts that we are talking about, be an intermediary or whatever. The whole thing, if you look at it, is quite engineered, to suit certain, individual whims and caprices. That is what we saw. Other than that, there was no way, if you look at the CV or the capability of those people who were involved, there are not some people we can rely on. We can't rely on such people to conduct such business. So there's something wrong. Fundamentally, as a country, we need to be able to do away with some of these things, break away from it. If you want to have lobbyists, we must have qualified lobbyists who will be able to give us value for money and do the right thing for us.
Okay, so let's look at the government official one that was mentioned in there. Even if this person had been the most powerful person in the country at the time, couldn't Parliament have seen certain things and blocked this contract from going through? And how do we solve this issue of majority members of Parliament just going with anything because they are parties in power, so they have to go with it?
Dziffa, sometimes, some of these things could have been unraveled, from the beginning.
How?
But sometimes it becomes extremely difficult to do it. Because all government policies emanate from the executive, the executive arm of government, the departments, the ministries, from the presidency and stuff like that. And then before they come up, they already know the people who are going to carry it out. Okay. And so it becomes extremely difficult. And you see, we have a parliament that is one-sided. The majority will always go for, whatever comes from the executive. That has been our experience. So that notwithstanding, they should be able to do extra due diligence, go beyond it. But the point is, how did they go beyond it when the very people who are handling it seem to have bought into that kind of mentality that seems to tell us that we are in government, we must enjoy whatever it is, and then politics in Ghana has been structured in such a way that we need to be able to recoup whatever we've lost during the campaign time or whatever it is. So there are fundamental problems we need to look at.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
We've also been joined by Kofi Kapito, who's the CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency. Good morning.
If I remember, I promised you the last time I'll be here on time. No, I'm just saying, as for today, I have a genuine excuse.
But you always have genuine excuse.
No, the demonstration today on the Kaokudi, it's a fact. I underestimated it.
But we all came here on time.
No, but I don't know where you live. So maybe you live just around the corner.
It's okay. Both of you were late, so it's allowed.
Oh, okay.
Back to the issue. And at least he apologized. I don't think you were.
Let me apologize for my lateness. I'm really sorry about it.
It's okay. You were also affected by the demonstration.
Today, in fact, I had to come in for
okay.
I don't want to mention.
I almost came with an Okada. Yeah. Seriously.
Okay. But we're glad both of you made it on time. Now, this issue of the aircraft peoples being mentioned, how do we ensure that when we do these contracts, we don't have third-party people doing all kinds of things that may not serve the interest of the nation?
It will be difficult for us to do away without third parties.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be blunt. But you said something that I like, that lobbyists in other jurisdictions, like the United States that I'm very familiar with, is former politicians or parliamentarians or congressmen and women who are the lobbyists. The difference between here and there is every money paid is receipted for. Okay. It's accountable. In this part of the world, do we even know had the receipts, or is there any track of everything above approach that we should all be able to go and say, I'm looking for the contract on this deal, that will be given to, looked into, and everything will be transparent. And then Duke also made a statement that the parliamentarians, I have a personal or an issue with the now majority leader, Honorable Chairman Sabonsu.
Why?
For him to say that if you had a stronger parliament, he's been there for how long?
But he did raise questions.
I'm just saying that, you know what, other jurisdictions, that's why I have a problem when people do the aftermath commentary. You've been in parliament for how long? Okay, once he was the minority leader, now he's the majority leader. Has he done anything different from what he claimed happened in 2009 in terms of parliament being strong? Look, we all hear things about what goes on in parliament. I don't have evidence, but I have people who are also in parliament that will come and tell you stuff that makes you wonder. Do they even understand why they are there? Okay. For him to come and tell me this, you remember under His Excellency, the former President Kofi, there was an issue about the purchase of planes. Right? Wasn't he there?
Okay. I think for the benefit of our viewers, let me actually quote exactly what Osei Mensah Bonsu said. He said, "It is not about witch hunt. I don't want us to go on that tangent. It is about having value for money so that going forward as a country, we do what is right. The issue about the corruption that we often cite, perceived or real, I keep insisting, is that Parliament, that is the prime body that is supposed to be playing an active oversight over the executive, is not really doing what it is expected of it because of some mortal wounds." And he goes to cite constitutional, statutory, and also some of them self-inflicted. So we must deal with these things. I think that we must strengthen Parliament, because once we are able to strengthen Parliament, I am sure we will be able to put a lot of these matters behind us as a country. I don't think there's...
He's the majority leader.
Okay.
If Parliament needs to be strengthened, he has to start from him.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing by pointing it out.
What he's been there for 3 years.
Okay.
I mean, we're going on 4 years. What I'm saying is, let's stop making excuses for ourselves. And that is where Ghana, we will never get to where this, the UK, as they did the auditing, caught Airbus from doing what? Look, the deal went through, or I don't know whether the deal went through, but the allegation is 5 million euros was paid to Ghana through some agents.
We bought the planes, so it's gone through.
I'm just saying. So how come somebody was able to do auditing and find out that somebody, a private company, was exposed?
I'll let you complete your thoughts, but we do have to go for a quick break.
No problem.
Okay, this is still Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. Hashtag is Breakfast Daily. The WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you're outside Ghana, country code is +233. We want to hear from you, so do reach out. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. I still have with me Akwasi Boateng-Boamah, who is a private legal practitioner, and Kofi Kapito, who's the CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency. And before the break, Kofi was
what I'm saying
concluding on this issue for us.
I gave my right to my representative to go to Parliament to represent my interests. The question is, do they even care about me once they get there? Okay, yes, I support your party. That, it's through the party. Yes, but at the end of the day, you're answerable to your constituents. Okay, look, remember PC Apiofori. He, to me, is one of the people who actually made me proud as a parliamentarian. When it was wrong, he said it was wrong, even when his party was in power. Okay, the question is, we are looking at the Trump thing. Now, we are hearing maybe it might be possible that we might have 3 or 4 Republicans who will vote for more evidence. When is Ghana, going to get to a stage that an issue, you have an NDC person, if it's MPP, saying that I agree with what MPP is saying, and then we have an MPP person saying that I disagree with what MPP is saying. That is how Parliament grows. You don't sit somewhere. Look, when he was the minority leader, I can excuse him. You are not the majority leader, and you are giving me excuse saying that if Parliament can be a little bit strengthened. It is your duty. It is not my duty. If I had my way, Yes, everything that I enjoyed, whether when I lived in Europe or I lived in America, that I see my representative actually representing me, my interest, putting issues out when he doesn't even agree. Not just you raise it and what's it called? Is it the Hansard? How many Ghanaians have access to the Hansard? If it wasn't your interview with them, how many Ghanaians would have known that?
Oh, it's on the website of Parliament, actually, so we can all go there and check it out.
With all due respect, we're behaving as if everybody can have access to the internet and everybody can read.
Okay.
Okay, he's from Swami. I'm also from I'm a Kumasi boy. I mean, how many Swami people has access to internet?
Okay.
Okay, what I'm saying is, in other jurisdictions, before it becomes final, issues are raised. Stakeholders, people who might have different opinions, will weigh in before it gets to the final conclusion. In this part of the world, before you could say Jack, they will tell you it was laid in Parliament for 21 days. Do I work in Parliament to know that you've laid there for 21 days?
All right, thank you.
The question is, let us hold them accountable.
Okay.
We send them there, so they're answerable to us. Don't come and give me an excuse.
Thank you very much. Now, Akwasi, please. Now, the Office of the Presidency is engaging the Special Prosecutor. Now, we all know the Special Prosecutor has come out multiple times to say that there are agencies frustrating his work. Even NPP party communicators have come out to say that they don't really know what the Special Prosecutor is doing. So how can he fight this issue?
I think that with the creation of his office, a lot was said. You know, they couldn't manage the expectation of the people. Much would then the blame will have to be put on their doorsteps. Because if you are coming up a new setup, an office whereby there's none is in existence before, I mean, in terms of infrastructure, even the period that it will take to get credible people to work with will not be easy. So for me, I think that the man is suffering because of the information, how people, they were not able to manage the expectation of the people, which they have to be blamed for that.
Who is the Office of Special Prosecutor or the government?
That's the government, because it's a new setup. Okay. So before such a setup will be able to flourish, there's a need to put in place certain mechanisms and then get the right people to work with. And then, I mean, within this limited time, it's not that easy to be able to get all this in place. So for me, I think that whatever he needs, I think at the moment has been given to him. And the expectation is very high. I mean, it's almost 3 years now. Do
you think he can fight this big issue where people are citing the government official, one as the former president? And
at the same period, I think I stand to be corrected. He was I think deputy AG was yes. And then according to what I'm hearing, though there was speculation,
so the
legal opinion was even proffered by him, and so that creates
some conflict of interest.
So I'm really wondering whether he will be able to do justice to this issue very well, looking at his position at that time as the Deputy Attorney General, and then now it's so. But all the same, I think that it's early days yet. These are speculations because the report, seem to say, or the court documents seem to tell us that the people behind it have not been heard in any way.
Yeah.
So I think it's too early, it's premature for anybody to conclude that this person or B or C had taken money or not, or even if the monies were taken by the so-called intermediaries, they were given to certain individuals who were in government. So I think it's early days yet. Now I want us to be able to know the faces, the first face, in my opinion, the faces behind it.
So the code names.
The code names.
Okay.
And if you look at the report, they were saying that every jurisprudence, criminal jurisprudence differ a bit from the UK. I mean, some of them have death sentences. As we speak now, the UK system has abolished the capital sentence and stuff. And so definitely they were not in that position. So they've given the rest to the various countries that were cited in the court document to carry out. But then looking at the fact that Machamidu at the time was the Deputy Attorney General, and then from what we are hearing, is the one who even preferred that legal opinion with respect to buying this aircraft. And I think that his position might be...
He was the Attorney General at the time.
Yes, his position might be a bit compromised in a way. Because if he claimed that something was good yesterday, having considered so many factors legally and other factors, and then today you come out maybe to say this or otherwise, then So that makes it a bit problematic, in my opinion. That I think that I don't know whether the president really factored into that. They are privy to such information.
But we also haven't seen the legal document, so we don't know if he was actually against it or he supported it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That from what we've heard so far, obviously, AG's opinion on such matters, if it's not supporting whatever it is, obviously it could have been withdrawn or certain things might have been rectified to be able to come to that situation whereby it will be good for all of us. So I think that, you know, it's too early to preempt, but I think it seemed to have supported.
Okay.
To have supported, yeah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kapito, your final words on this. How do we get to a point where we also begin to investigate some of these contracts we've done and come up with such findings that we are now benefiting from, that other countries are doing the investigations?
You know, it is interesting that the people that are supposed to lead are the ones that will give you excuses and the challenges that it is not possible. No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the people. That means everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
That means the three of us as well.
No, because I don't have the power and the whatever given to me by the president. Look, I tell you, if I was an appointee or somebody, certain things will happen. Okay, because time has come that let's do the right thing. I don't understand why in Ghana we think we only get rewarded when we do the wrong things. And that is what is happening in Ghana now. Even in terms of our normal daily life. Okay, you are courteous enough to give somebody a way in traffic. And then you are punished for even doing that courtesy. Look, me, for the first time, as a special prosecutor, I think this is cases that the special prosecutor is supposed to go after. Not to go and chase the AG's job by chasing somebody like Woyomi. Woyomi and all those people, it is for the AG. The special prosecutor does not chase money in countries that they've used them. The special prosecutor is only brought in when are matters concerning the presidency.
Do you think he will be empowered enough to chase
I think sorry to cut you in. I think you must look at the object of his office, the act.
No,
okay, I think he's supposed to investigate inordinate.
What I'm saying
that is huge.
What I'm saying is
money
but you see, there's
all forms of corruption from politically
inordinate one. Right? That is the huge one.
You see, when we do those things, first of all, the man is been complaining.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was my question to you. That
will
we be able to resource him enough to fight this battle?
Have the political will. This is a man who is complaining, and even you said MPP communicators are doubting.
Some of them are saying.
No, I've heard them even taunt him. Okay. The question is, am I the president? I am not. The president has so much power under this constitution. If the president says, I'm going to empower the special prosecutor for him to do what the constitution or the legal framework that set that office up, why should the special prosecutor come and complain to me that when he goes to a government agency to look for a document, he doesn't get it? You are a lawyer. I'm just saying it shouldn't happen. Because if he is, the mandate given to him allows him to ask you to give him all the information necessary.
Please wrap up for us.
I'm just saying that, yes, if you want to get there, we can. But the question is, do we want to? Because in other jurisdictions, that is what they do. How do you think the British people were able to cooperate with Airbus and all those people? Because maybe they cut a deal. Maybe they told them that if you do this, we will be able to. I mean, names are not even known yet. Is it part of the deal that you conceal the names of the countries and the individuals so that will give you a softer punishment? You are a lawyer. In this country, a lot of these things that will help us in terms of plea bargain, in terms of you give me this, I give you this, so that I will get what I want. Okay, the custodial sentences in Ghana, I mean, I don't know. Do you even have people giving suspended sentences? I don't know. I'm just saying, other jurisdictions, they build a system that will make you speak the truth. Okay, because if I know you're not going to give me 20 years, and if I tell a lawyer, you give me 3 years, and know that what I know is the actual thing, I would give the information. Why should I go to jail for 20 years when you have cut a deal for me to give information for me to go for jail for 3 years? These are the reforms that we need. These are the things that it has been done in other jurisdictions. That's why we sit here today. We are talking about Airbus. If it wasn't the British government and other government agencies, do you think you and I will sit here today to talk about this as it pertains in Ghana?
Okay, so my final question to you, Akwasi, is we are always throwing around value for money, value for money. How do we begin to implement it and hold stakeholders accountable to ensure that when we go out there to get something, they are serving the interest of the nation, and even after we've made the purchases, we can actually prosecute people who have erred?
See, Dziffa, we have all the laws, okay, all the laws, and we keep even enacting new ones, adding new ones. But the issue has got to do with what? Implementation.
Okay.
That is our greatest bane as a country. So I believe that until we begin to do that, implement the law without any discrimination whatsoever. Because you see, it looks as if we have built a political setup that believes in favoritism and cronyism. That if you are part of a particular system, then whatever it is, there will be a leeway out for you, in quote. So,
even if you have gone against serving the interest of the nation for your own personal needs.
You see, that one, you see, the court must establish it. And so, who even initiate those processes to court? And you see, in Ghana, when some of these allegations are being mentioned, you realize that the people who are behind it goes to, certain level to lobby or try to have some kind of influence, going to see the top people around. Oh, this is my nephew, this is this, So at the end of the day, you realize that it might look as if you are trying to do something to help the situation, but nothing is being done.
Okay.
So clear.
We do have to move on. So we're going to take a look at our second story. I'm reading from citinewsroom.com, and it says, CID arrest suspended NPP Central Regional Vice Chair over missing excavators. So I'm going to delve right into the release there. So it says, request for investigations. Mr. Ekwo was contracted to cut excavators and other vehicles and pieces of equipment seized by Operation Vanguard to designated areas for safekeeping. We have received information that he sent an unknown number of equipment to unauthorized locations, including one in Tema. This was confirmed by the caretaker of the depot in Tema. Information reaching me indicates that he has sold an unknown number of the pieces of equipment, including excavators. I wish to appeal to the police authorities to investigate the matter. So this was signed by Professor Akwasi Boateng-Boamah, who's the minister and chairman of IMCIM. So I'm coming right back to you since you are the lawyer. What do we make of this missing excavators and now this young man being investigated by the CID, knowing well that he's already been suspended?
I think it's quite sad,
Okay.
At the backdrop of the president's initiative to curb this menace and how the whole thing had resulted into. Look as if we have that kind of negative effect at the end of the day, because nothing seemed to have been done in trying to remedy the situation. The point is, you have been asked to undertake an assignment, and you ended up even messing up. So the whole thing is, what was even the purpose? Okay, initial purpose, the president's plan. So if people excavated, contractors or whoever they are, the excavated machine equipment have been seized, and then instead for you to have that deposited them at the right, custody, either the police or whatever, a security agency, you decided to use it for its own personal interest.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's what but that is quite sad. And I think that the laws are there. In such instances, in a criminal act and other acts, there have been, this is an alleged act of, what do you call it? Is it stealing or whatever you may want to call it? So the law really prescribes it, and then he must be dealt with, under the full rigors of the law. Mr.
Kapito, aren't they taking him as a scapegoat? Because we can't necessarily neck this out on one individual. 500 excavators.
You see, this is going back to my earlier submission that in other jurisdictions, once you have this guy, you can squeeze him. he will tell you.
Still innocent until proven guilty.
I'm just saying whatever. I'm just saying that is where it is alleged, which is true.
Exactly.
Every case starts from allegation
yes.
or
and
suspicion.
You're still innocent until proven guilty.
I'm just saying that.
And you can't squeeze an innocent man.
No, you see, in the investigation boils down to all this. In terms, okay, fine. If the guy admits that, yes, maybe I even stole one, okay, you can ask him, is there a ring or some group? Look, when the DEA, which is the Drug Enforcement Agency in America, catches the small carrier, they don't care about the carrier. They care about the kingpin. So they will use the carrier to get to the kingpin. They call it the domino effect.
Okay.
You touch her, she touches, we get to the last person.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, and it all boils down to the fact that when government changes, I won't even say party, when government changes, and then certain people who are given positions and powers, instead of doing Mother Ghana, they do personal. Okay, why can't we have an impound? We have 10 regions, we have all the districts. Why can't we have secured impounds for confiscated things in the name of the state? Okay, why are we, as they say, the guy is a deputy central, so they claim that he has a place that he could keep them under lock and key.
Yeah.
If that's the case,
regional vice chairman.
Regional vice chairman. If that's the case, how did the excavator is not like Tico? Excavator is not like Tico.
Okay.
Okay. See. To me.
But should we be looking at the whole process of, okay, I come take an excavator from you because you're operating illegally. These are the steps I'm supposed to take. But if it's all freestyle, can you blame someone
this
if
is
they
not
go
the first time. Something Mr. Bisu.
Tricycles went missing. Yeah,
tricycles,
Bisu also.
Everything. You know. And the question is, my worry is, are we serious as a country? Look, other jurisdictions that I was saying, right? You know, the people who were related to Donald Trump who had even gone to jail. They are his personal friends. They are people that, you know, the lawyer was his body. But the president will not take the fall. So somebody needs to be sacrificed. This thing that we protect the big man and the small man in this country is killing us. Because if we keep holding the small people accountable, next time when the big man tells him, do this, he won't do it. But we allow everybody to go because, oh, wait there, one of us, you know, he did this. The fact that you gave me money to come and win an election, that doesn't give you the right to go and do illegality in Ghana. Yes, you are entitled to work as a Ghanaian. You are entitled to earn money. You are entitled to pay taxes. But you're not entitled to do or break the law. And that is what we allow our cronies, our friends, to get away with. In other jurisdictions, it's the same thing. But when you get in trouble, the system will hold you accountable.
So you're saying it's good they started with a CID, but then they should catch other people involved with
It's not even this excavators. We've had so many issues. I'll tell you what. Personally, I was involved in a committee investigating the boss contaminated fuel. I mean, our recommendation, I don't know what happened to it.
Okay.
I get to my point. Okay. And the question is, even at a certain point, the opposition party was alleging that there was no committee. And I had to, Bauer, Honorable Bauer, something's on the Bauer. I had to have an exchange to him with him that I was in the committee. So he cannot say that there was no committee. The question is, let's stop this. It's not helping Ghana.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. Ghana should move forward as a country. Look, somebody is going to the moon. You cannot even go to your backyard.
Well, we have Safo Kantanka making really great
so
innovations.
What are we doing to him?
Well, I'm just saying we're also doing our own local innovations. Okay, Samsung. We have to move on to our final story here. I'm reading from citynewsroom.com, and it has to do with a banking crisis. So BOG governor dissatisfied with money recovered so far. So I'm going to directly quote Governor Addison, and then I'll hear what our lawyer has to say. So he says the receiver has been able to make some recoveries they are not as impressive as we had expected. Last time I checked, about 1.4 billion Ghana cedis had been recovered. Now we are looking at the loan portfolio of these banks that were resolved, and it was over 16 billion Ghana cedis. So if you've recovered 1.4 billion out of 16 billion, it tells you that there is a lot of work that has to be done. So yes, the effort is there, but progress in terms of the money that they are recovering is slow. So that's what he observed. Akwasi.
Dziffa, I think that prior to the coming into force of the new Banking Act, I mean, even under the old Act, BOG had enormous mandate of power to be able to protect depositors' fund. Okay? And so having gone through all the legal processes of the regime to be able to get depositor fund, and if you're unable to do it, for me, I think that government must find means to get the depositors fund for them.
Or that they are auctioning cars.
Yeah, but you see, obviously from what they are saying, it's not enough.
You're not meeting anywhere.
Yes, and so if people are being urged on, a villager, sorry to say, I mean, a Foucault farmer somewhere is being urged to deposit his fund or her fund.
Our mothers in Makola and Kantamanto.
Yes, every day we want to, operate a cashless economy, blah, this, that. And at the end of the day, they've got themselves into trouble, whereby there is a government institution supposed to have supervised these banks to ensure that at least deposit funds are safe. They were not able to do that. And so whatever it is, for me, I'm not interested in what the governor is saying. What I'm interested in that the means that government to be able to get the monies, I mean, of those depositors. That is what I'm looking at. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. And then so far as those banks were operating under regulation, I mean, being regulated by Bank of Ghana, having gone through all the licensing and whatever processes, then you cannot fault the ordinary depositor or whatever it is. What you are telling us, I don't know whether it's for information, but there's nothing that those people who are involved, who have seemed to have suffered negatively from this, can do. They are supposed to do the needful by getting I think some money has been, set aside, I don't know, I mean, to cater for this. So their money should be given out. I don't know why this even is part of the headline for today, because seriously, I mean...
That's perfectly fine. So, Mr. Kapito, I'll hear your thoughts, but let me read a few of the comments we've received. This is from Wolanyo in Akwetia. He says, Mahama really needs to redeem his image before the worst happens to him. Posterity has a nice way to work you out. Obama from Kwowu Tafo says, the Airbus saga is one corruption case that has disgraced the entire country locally and internationally. Although code names were used in the judgment, but we can say on authority that the government elected, okay, well, we are not the investigative bodies, so we can't, uncode the names or decode the names till they bring out the names. So I think we should stop assuming who is what because of some book and what was referenced. Mr. Kapito, your thoughts on the Bank of Ghana's Governor Addison saying they've not been able to recover the money?
Like I said, to me, let's stop. You see, when you are given a job and you can't do the job, just get out.
Who are you referring to?
Whoever that put that statement out. Let me tell you
No, by the Bank of Ghana, Governor Addison.
Dziffa, do you know the reason why I am encouraged to put my money in a bank?
Why?
Because I am told that money is guaranteed and insured.
Yes, but the Bank of Ghana was named the Central Bank of the Year because of the work they've done.
Ghana, do you know how many banks were voted the Bank of the Year that they are in trouble?
Continue.
I'm just saying, okay, the reason why I will not go to the Susuman, because the Susuman, government hasn't insured it. But if government tells me that a bank is licensed, it gives me the comfort and the assurance that at any given time, do you know the conditions of the law that when you write a check, what should be done to it? The moment I write a check and there's money in that account, that check should be on it. The Bank of Ghana is at 40 years. 100%. Let me tell you what. If I know somebody who has almost 1 million cedis in there. You are telling the person you give him 20,000. You don't give him, maybe every other month, come and collect another 20. So that maybe in a year or 2 years,
you get all your money.
So that I can go to Akwasi to say, I beg you, I have 20,000 coming every month. So can you also let me purchase something?
And pay in installments.
We are not thinking. Look, when the America went into that recession, do you know what the U.S. government did to save the car industry in America? They even gave a $3,000 or a $4,000 credit for any individual who wanted to purchase a new car, so that they will save the car industry in America. We are not thinkers in Ghana. We are in a box.
Well, we don't have the same resources they have. So I think it's a
I
bit
beg you.
of a stretch to compare the two.
Don't you have the computer here? It isn't the same resource.
But we didn't manufacture the computer.
So
we are beneficiaries. We're not inventors.
What I'm saying is, look, we all go to the same schools. Okay, now it's even easy. Gone were the days that when my uncle was going to UK, the whole family trooped to Kotoka Airport. We cried the whole day. Okay, and when he came back, we took a whole brass band. Okay, let's not do this to ourselves. You see, I get a little bit irritated when we give excuses. The question is, there are rules and regulations. Somebody's job is to make sure that when I steal, the law says you should try me and jail me. So when somebody doesn't do his or her job, that person should be held accountable. The Bank of Ghana, the regulator, sat, okay, for all this time, for people to lose their money. Do you know how many people have lost a lot of confidence even in the banking system?
Yeah.
Let of all other things that has happened to them personally. Yeah. Okay, medical reasons, all sort of things. Families are breaking up, and you are telling me that you cannot collect. It is the government of Ghana, I'm not talking about the NPP. It's the government of Ghana's responsibility to find money to settle the depositors. As to what you do later, that's your wahala.
Thank you very much. Kofi Kapito is the CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency. And of course, Akwasi Boateng-Boamah is a private legal practitioner. Both of you have gone through a lot to get here this morning,
Yeah,
so we are very grateful that you could make it.
So do we get a bonus?
No. And thank you, Ako, for staying with us.
We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.